Good morning. Welcome to Keeping Critters. This is my first video, a little bit of an introduction of what the video series will be about and why I'm doing this. The first few people that are going to see this are people that already know me, but I'll give you a little bit of background. I was in Washington. I worked for senior housing. We had the opportunity to visit Las Vegas first, middle of January. And while we were down here, we were like, we should move here. And so we did just that at the end of February. At about the time we were bringing down U-Hauls and all of our stuff and the animals that we had, we went into lockdown. So wonderful. We now have nothing to do. We're all sitting around the house. And we added a few critters to the Trimble family. So started off with a marmoset monkey, and I'll introduce you to him at some point. And then it just kind of went from there. My husband, Mike, made a comment, we should hatch some bird eggs. So we started looking at that. We talked about reptiles and chameleons. We went scorpion hunting because we live in the desert and you can. We have a couple of scorpions too. But over the course of a couple of weeks, we got a chameleon. She was going to lay eggs shortly. We were so excited about it. And from that, we ended up buying all of the Chameleons chameleons. So we really went from one chameleon to 10. And so it's been exciting working through how do we take care of them? What do their cages look like? How do you water them? What do they need to eat? So we've done a ton of research on this stuff. And it's been really fun to do. It's kept us occupied. But I thought it would be really fun to show everybody what it is that we do. Those that know me know that this is probably not the end. Mike and Brandon actually made the comment we should open a pet store. And so I'm really excited. I kind of jumped on that. So everybody that knows me is probably laughing right now. They're like, that would be her idea. It wasn't my idea, it was theirs. But yeah, I'm all on board for it. So anyway, what we're doing is we're kind of starting to create our breeding program for the chameleons. It's something that we attempted to hatch just one egg several years ago, and they're kind of delicate, so it didn't work. But now we know a lot more, and so we think we're really prepared for it this time. And I'll tell you, you're gonna see we do have some eggs, so we'll talk about where they came from on a future video. But my idea for this is just to show you what my routines are, how I take care of the animals that we currently have, kind of what the details are in taking care of just one chameleon, let alone 10 of them. So what that looks like, if that's possible, maybe thinking maybe I want to get one, but I have no idea what to do with them. That's okay. I'll show you what we do with them. And then we'll talk about the different animals that I have, the temperaments that they have, kind of some suggestions or ideas, things that we've tried that were successful, and of course mistakes that we made along the way. Especially with the chameleons, it's kind of been a learning process. We don't know everything. We do a ton of research, so both Mike and I really get out there, especially with the internet. It's fabulous. You can search all kinds of stuff. So we'll tell you what's worked for us. We'll show you as we kind of work through some of the things that are coming up. We'll take a look at their cages, what they look like, what we use for substrates. And I gotta tell you, it's not a one size fits all. When you search stuff, there's always a lot of pros and people that really like certain products and what the pros are of those and then what cons are of those. And some things work for some people and they just absolutely don't work for somebody else, and that's okay. But we'll talk about why it is that we selected what we did for our chameleons or our monkey or any one of the other critters that we have here. And if you need help, maybe, I know my daughter bought a bird, so she's got a bird and she's got a ton of questions. I don't have a bird at the moment, although I have a cage. I'm all ready for it. Happy to help you research. There's a ton of information out there. And sometimes it can get really tiresome to try to figure out, why are people doing it the way they're doing it? And how am I ever going to figure out what I want to do? So I'm happy to help you research that stuff. I have a YouTube channel called Keeping Critters. I also have a Facebook page called Keeping Critters. So be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and follow my Facebook page. I'll put some references on there too, some great links to information that we found. And that way, if you have a question and you're not sure where to go, come to my page, look it up, see if I've got something on it. If I don't, you want to ask questions, feel free to do that. I'd love for other people to help you with your critters as much as I am helping with critters, or maybe you have a suggestion for me. I'm totally open for those suggestions. So I'm hoping that it will be exciting and fun, especially with the follies we have around here. So I'll talk about some of the videos that are probably going to come up in the next couple of weeks. One will definitely be cleaning our cages. So with 10 chameleons, you can imagine there's a lot of cages. And what we did was when we brought them home, we set them up in the cages that they had because we bought all of the chameleons and all of the equipment that he had. And they're dirty. So want to make sure that we clean them. So we'll break apart cleaning them, what that looks like and how we put it back together. And we'll also take a look at what we feed our critters, the schedule that we use for feeding them, how we water them. Chameleons don't drink like normal, everyday average dogs. So we have a misting system. So we'll talk about misting systems and how you set them up. And what we found, we actually have 2 different systems. So we'll talk about the pros and cons of each of those as well. In fact, one I haven't even set up yet. So that'll be a video. You'll get to see me try to set the system up. So you'll see how much work is involved in that. And it might help you. I know I've been having trouble getting the nozzles off of one of them, so maybe when we figure that trick out, you'll already know how to do that. So it won't take you quite as long as it does me. Record keeping. So when we got the chameleons, he had some general information for us. The babies are 2 to 3 months old. The female is 1 year and 3 months old. But nothing that was really solid and written down. And I just feel like that's really important. So I'm working on a record system. It's pretty basic and simple, actually. It's a notebook and it has tabs in it. So inside each one of these is a chameleon, who they are, how old they are, those kinds of things. I haven't finished it because I'm going to finish it with you guys online. And that way you can see how I'm keeping track. And if you have suggestions for me, would love to have them. But for right now, let me show you the critters. I got up really early this morning. I woke up at 4. And so I haven't actually turned everybody's lights on and got them up yet this morning. The benefit of me being up early in the morning is I'm the only one that's up. So it's really quiet. I spend time talking to them, but I get to wake them up in the morning. And so I haven't done that yet, which is good for you because then you get to see the animals as I'm waking them up. So I'll try to introduce you to them, but what we'll do is there'll be some other videos that really introduce you to them and who they are and a bunch of things about that particular critter. So anyway, let me take you over and start waking some people up this morning. I'll see you in just a second.